We're here live at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois, backstage with Michael Wilton of Queensryche. This, of course, is Neely with your classic metal show, and Queensryche out on tour with Scorpions, and they're opening up tonight. And I've had the awesome opportunity to come back here and talk to Michael Wilton. How are you, Michael?
Oh, doing just quite well. Queensryche has been on this tour with the Scorpions a couple weeks now, and things are running really smoothly. We were up in Canada last night, so it's kind of nice to be back in the U.S., and especially in Chicago.
Didn't you just do Indianapolis like Friday?
Or
Thursday?
Right, and then we bounced up to Windsor.
Wow, look at
Ontario.
you, just all over the map.
Right, we try and put as many Queensryche shows on the map as we can.
Sure, absolutely. Well, obviously you're out here touring in support of your forthcoming release, your new Queensryche release, and it's called Condition Human. And it sounds like it could fit in the first three Queensryche records, in my opinion. It's like almost like a return to the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Condition Human is a unique perspective with Queensryche, is that we are all 5 individuals equally now in the writing process, and that has grown in the last 2 years that we've been touring off of our previous self-titled album. And thus we've had more time to grow on the arrangements, and this one, we kind of in the Queensryche way, we always want to evolve with each album.
Right.
We don't want to carbon copy the previous one.
Sure.
That doesn't work for Queensryche.
Right.
So we wanted to stretch the boundaries a little bit, and especially like the song arrangements, we wanted to make sure they were interesting and not the industry standard, and leave lots of room for ear candy and
right,
just
you did.
lots
That
of
definitely
vocal dynamics, and we really spent some time on this one, and we're really, just the response has been so positive, and we're really excited for this to come out.
Right. Well, I got to tell you, since your last CD came out, you introduced the new singer to the world. He cut his teeth on Jeff Tate's style vocals, and Todd has really shined on this new release. Now, going back to the debut release with Todd on lead vocal, do you feel that album might have been rushed, because of the situation you had with your former singer, who's the first to get a record out, or do you look at it that way at all, or was that not part of it?
Again, I'll bring this back up, is that, we're a band again, and we were, experimenting with all the influences of everybody as far as creatively. And so, but yeah, we were put in an opportunity. We had just signed a deal with Century Media Records, and we were touring relentlessly.
Right.
But there was obviously a lot of distractions and confusion, and it was kind of a different scene back then.
Sure.
But for Todd, he, basically it was his first real recording.
Well, the reason I bring that up is because this new recording, it's like you guys gelled as a band. The first one was a little bit disjointed, and that's understandable because of the newness of the creativity with new members and whatnot. But this one here, this sounds like I said at the beginning of the interview, it could be, you could very easily put it in between The Warning and maybe the first one.
Yeah, and that just comes along with a band rediscovering itself.
Right.
There's no negative situations where creativity will be stifled.
Yeah.
Everybody puts their music on the table. Everybody works on it.
Right.
And that's what's exciting about Queensryche now, is that you get all these different interpretations of their influence,
right?
And then everybody molds them, and
right.
it's amazing, what comes out. And
yeah,
that's pretty much what happened on
and
Condition Human.
You guys are kind of acting as a democracy rather than a dictatorship. So, and speaking of dictatorship, looking at this new CD and how cohesive it is, and how it, like you said, it represents the influences, all five of you. Where would you put this in, say, your last couple of Queensryche or CDs that were released under the Queensryche name? I like to put it like that. If you were to look back at like American Soldier or Dedicated to Chaos, were those true Queensryche albums in your mind?
Well, I mean, I don't look at it that way. I mean, for me, it's Queensryche history.
Sure it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And this is Queensryche 2015.
Right.
And this is a natural evolution from the self-titled CD, and it's its own animal. And that's basically it.
Absolutely. But again, it sounds like a return to what people remember Queensryche for. That's how I look at it.
You know, if you touch up on the whole writing and recording process, we used Chris Harris, a.k.a. Zeus, and he really wanted to capture the essence of the old recordings.
And he did.
As, you know, the instruments,
right.
You know, and how we did that back in those days, which made everything sound like a band and really
Sure.
exciting live as well.
Right.
But, you know, put it in a 2015, you know, scenario so that it's like, if you haven't heard Queensryche in a while, you know, and you listen to it, you go, hey, that kind of sounds like Queensryche's guitars.
Yeah, it does.
You know,
it does, absolutely.
So you're right. I mean, it's like we had the inspiration, and we had a producer that knew how to build the arrangements.
And he's obviously a fan.
He's a fan, and he's also a musician, which
Right.
was great. So he was really deep into the song arrangement with us.
Right.
And that really, and let's face it, you know, Scott, Eddie, and I started this whole thing a long
Absolutely.
time ago. So all our influences are deep rooted in us anyway.
Sure.
So
Right.
you're going to get
Well, you
that.
found them again.
And I
That's-
think he just pulled them out
Right.
just a little more
and it shows,
amplified
and
them.
it absolutely shows. So you know, we talked about the record and how it you know, has come about. Now, what's your thoughts? And I don't think it has any effect on you one way or the other, since now everything seems to be released on a Friday as opposed to the traditional Tuesday now. Do you see that as having any positive or negative effect one way or the other, or does it matter just as long as it gets out there?
I mean, we're very hopeful, you know, for a big release.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's on a Friday or a Tuesday.
Just as long as it gets out there.
Just so everybody's doing their job.
Right,
you
right,
know?
absolutely.
And, the record companies doing their job, and our marketing people, we're doing it. You know, it's all just a big machine.
Sure.
And we just want it to go as smooth as possible.
Right, absolutely, and you're embracing obviously social media and multimedia with the new videos for the new record and whatnot. And you know, as far as a marketing tool, you know, back in the '80s, you know, when you guys launched, MTV was such a huge deal, but there's no need for an MTV these days since we got YouTube and any kind of video outlets. You guys can get it out there, and everybody and anybody can have access to it on demand. So looking back in the 80s when MTV was either a make or break situation for you, as opposed to today where everybody does their own marketing and their own videos and pretty much does everything on their own. Give me a positive and a negative for each.
Well, with the internet, it's now a world event,
right?
Right. So now you used to have releases on different days for different reasons, right? And now everything's just a one-day release around the world.
Sure.
And to do that in this day and age, you've got to
right
outlets,
right.
And we have somebody that does that for us. So
sure.
we're connected to Vimeo, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Still around?
No, they're still around, but they're not quite a force out there anymore.
Yeah, but I mean all of the relevant ones, and it's a lot of work.
It is.
Like you were saying, back in those days, it was like everybody was watching MTV.
Sure.
Everybody waited to see Headbangers Ball.
Right.
Right. And so now it's been dissected. It's still out there.
Yeah.
You just got to find it.
And then, of course, you got outlets like the Mighty Classic Metal Show that pumps Queensryche and plugs you guys all the time. So
gotta love it.
yeah, absolutely. All right, real quick, Michael, I know we're kind of short on time here. I know you got some personal stuff going on. I know that you're going to launch a new clothing line, Whipwear. Is that soon to be coming, or is that?
Yeah, it's actually kind of a relaunch.
Okay.
It's kind of an underground thing.
Okay.
You know, that we started, me and a buddy started a few years back.
Sure.
But, you know, I've hooked up with a bigger clothing distributor in the Seattle area,
Right.
and we're gonna, you know, market it differently.
Good, excellent. And then, of course, when you were on the show last time, you know, you mentioned the fact that you're in the process of launching a new bar and grill in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, it's just in the beginning processes.
Right.
We're really excited about this. We've got a location, and it's just talking to the right people, getting the investors, and
Sure.
just getting it all.
And
the
why
business
Richmond,
plan,
Virginia?
Well, if I was going to distribute whip ale, that's kind of in the middle between Maine and Florida.
Sure.
So, it's go either direction with it.
Gotcha.
You got that distribution because it's too expensive to ship from Seattle.
I see. So it's a strategic location for you.
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter
All
of
right.
fact.
Well, that works. So you plan on doing that opening in sometime next year?
If all goes well.
Oh, okay.
We're crossing our fingers, but starting a restaurant, pub kind of venue like that, it's not easy.
Sure.
So there's still a lot of work to do, but we're very, very hopeful that we get it going next year.
Good, excellent. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of irons in the fire. Of course, you're on a great package. Of course, Scorpions, big band, legendary band. Being able to play with them. I mean, I've seen you guys. I can't tell you countless numbers of times playing with what was Heaven and Hell and Alice Cooper, and you guys have been on a lot of great packages over the years and headlined on your own right and whatnot. So it's good to see you guys still going, and great new release. I have the fortune of hearing it before it drops, and I'm very impressed. Love it. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for believing in Queensryche. And you can get all your information from Queensryche Official Facebook or queensrycheofficial.com, and keep up to date on all the touring and all the news. And we just thank all the media outlets for the support, and this is a really exciting time for Queensryche.
Excellent. All right, Michael. Well, we appreciate you letting me come back here and invade your space for a little bit.
Yes.
And looking forward to the show tonight. And, why don't you take us out of this interview with a song from the new release and maybe tell us a quick story about it?
Here's a song that we just released. It's called Hellfire. This was a song that I came up with a couple years ago on the acoustic guitar, and then it built it into this badass song. So enjoy this song. This is Hellfire.